Hey everybody, welcome to my Wednesday live this week, where we're still adjusting the camera angle. And we're going to talk about taking care of our knees. So, knees are super important. And knees are one of the things that I do not want to lose, especially as I get older. And I see these people who are going, hello, welcome. I see people who struggle with their knees. A lot of people struggle with their knees actually, but particularly older people. And it's just as simple as if you don't use it, you lose it. So we're going to talk about some really good, simple ways that you can make sure that your knees are happy and healthy for the rest of your days. And it only takes a few minutes a day, honestly. So the first thing I'm going to share with you is very simple, and it is about how to warm up your knees. You can do this anywhere, anytime. And it's simply standing with your toes together, your heels together. And let's see, let me adjust my costume here. Got toes together, heels together. We're going to place our hands on our knees and we're going to bend our knees and press them together just a little bit. And we're basically just going to make circles with our knees. And we're just going to do that 10 times. 1, 2, 3. And what we're doing is we're traveling the weight around the base of our feet. And we are also working the mobility of our ankles and working the tiny bit of circular mobility that we do have in our knees. Do about 10, and then you change directions. And you should be hearing my creaky floor as well. Maybe I can stand in a place that doesn't creak quite so much. So, again, toes together, heels together, bend the knees slightly, knees together, hands on the knees, and this time we're going counterclockwise with the circles that we're making. And this is a really simple way to warm up your knees, but actually you're warming up the rest of your body as well. Ankles, knees, hips slightly. And because you're in this bent position, you're actually, we're using a bit of energy to stay there. So I'm warming myself up. And then if you want to, you can take a few little hops backward just to stretch. That's the Aikido warm-up that we've done for many years in my Aikido dojo. But my favorite part of it is the circling. And hello, welcome. So a modified version of that I saw this week, which I don't think is as fun, but it's equally probably useful, is just to do one foot in front and you have the weight in the back foot, and you're going to, well actually the weight is between both legs really, but you're rolling your weight around the outside of your foot all the way around, and you should feel that all the way up into your hip, rolling the weight around the outside of your foot. And you can do that one direction and then reverse and do that the other direction. Now that's also warming up your knees. I'm going to take this one off. I'm actually quite hot. But you're also warming up your ankle and you're developing your hip mobility at the same time. So we can do that with the other foot. So again, weight between both legs and you're rolling the outside of the foot on the floor. So you're practicing keeping a sense of connection with the outer edge of your foot, and then you're going back the other way. And you're very welcome to join along, follow along, always listening to your body as we do these. And I would love to hear your comments in the chat as well. So that's 3 versions of knee circles. And make sure you do both directions. Okay, so you should already be feeling a little bit warmer if you've been following along. The next thing that we're going to talk about in taking care of the knees is obviously going down and going up. What we want to be able to do is to be smooth when we go down to the floor and easy when we come out of the floor. So that's actually my entire reason for doing squats is my main focus when I do my 4-minute routine. And I do basically different squat variations with upper body stuff on top of it to keep everything healthy and aligned and strong. What I never want to be is one of these people that's on the floor and then they're like, how do I get up? I want to be able to go down and come up. nice and easy. So that starts with practicing going down and coming up. So one of the nice ways that you can do this is simply to stagger your feet. So in Aikido, it's a triangle stance. You have your feet together, one foot goes out 45 degrees, and then you step directly back. That's the triangle stance. If I show you from the side, feet together, one foot out, and then take a little step back. And then you just drop down as if you're gonna tie your shoelace. And from here, you can take a short bounce, a small bounce, and push up to rise again. So this is a great kind of undercover exercise. And if you struggle with going down into this position, I would say take it more slowly so you can melt, and where you feel the struggle, just pause there, take a bit of a bounce for yourself, check that your knee is in alignment with your foot. So if I'm showing you from this angle, my knee wants to be directly over my middle toe as I go down, not too far forward, really right in the center of my foot, and then my heel comes off of the floor in the back as I go to tie my shoe here. And then to push back up, we have the same principle. Bounce, 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 follow it on the up bounce. Many people won't be able to go down easily into that depth of a squat, so like I was saying, go down to where you feel comfortable. Keep your chest up, your spine long, send your butt back, and just bounce and hang out here where you feel the challenge. Enjoy feeling that challenge, enjoy feeling that bounce. If you want, you can go a bit lower. That's always a great way to increase the challenge in the minimal amount of time possible. And then when you're finished, bounce and come up. And then we do the other foot. So toes together, one foot opens out 45 degrees. You step back, and if you wanted to do the shoe tie test, you go down, tie your shoelace, and come up. And if it doesn't feel easy going down and up, you go slow motion. Slow motion, chest up. Where it gets difficult, you pause, and you bounce, or you hold. Very small bounces, or a very steady hold. And if you can, you go down a little bit more. Again, knee looking down, you should see your knee over the center of your toes. And if you want to go down a little bit more, you can let the back heel come off. Hold it. Woo! My thighs, my thighs, my thighs. Bounce and come up. Okay. So the point really of that one is to find your own space of challenge and to challenge yourself right where you need it. It could be that you are just here, right? And that's fine. This knee also should be pointed out directly over the back foot. So if that's at 45 degrees, this is pointing straight ahead. You've got this kind of angle going on with your hips, yeah? But you want to check that your alignment is in the right place. The knees are following the toes. The pelvis is reaching, the butt is reaching back slightly, yeah? There are different kinds of squats where we can point the butt straight down. That's for ballet. But with these ones, we can go back slightly, keeping the chest up and finding the point of challenge and working it, staying there, enjoying it, breathing there, loving it. And you should feel it in your thighs. And you should also be feeling it in and around your knees, slowly and developing. Hello, welcome. Love to have you joining. So please do include your questions here. If knees are an issue for you, if you have a particular issue with your knees, I'd love to help. This live is really about exploring my method of whole body fitness in the minimal amount of time each day. And the way that I have found works the best is to work on squats every day. Different squat variations with technical precision done properly so that you know how to engage your torso, how to engage your upper body, and how to work and develop the joints in your feet, ankles, knees, and hips so that your whole body becomes aligned and fit. So squats are brilliant because they develop the strength of your knees, they develop the strength of your ankles and feet, they develop the strength of your glutes, which are actually some of the most obviously biggest and most powerful and supportive muscles for your entire functionality in your body. If you don't have strong glutes, you don't have strength, and that's a fact. So we have to start with the support of the base when we will look at the functional fitness of the body. So we've talked about knees, knee circles, we've talked about hanging out in the zone of challenge, and now we're going to talk about the depth of the fold of your knees. Okay, so I'm going to talk a bit about how we can develop our deep squat. Now, we want to look at how we can fold our knees in different ways. That may be something that comes easily to you. Sitting in seiza, for example, Japanese style, is a really important one. Some people find this difficult. You can also tuck your toes under and sit with your heels under your bum and your toes tucked under as a starting point if the tops of your feet hurt when you point your toes. But ultimately, you want to be working on this position as often as possible so that you get the depth of the fold in your hips and the depth of fold in your knees too. If it is helpful to you, I don't know if I have something specific I could show you, but you can sit on a cushion as well to make the pressure a little bit less on your knees as you practice this position. But what is happening here, especially when you sit with your toes under like this, is you're developing the flexibility of your feet and ankles as you sit in seiza, and you're developing the comfort of a deep bend in your knees as well. So there's different ways we can do this. We can also, hello, welcome, lovely to have you here. So I like to actually reach back and develop the deep fold of my knees by increasing the weight to the back. And that can be either with flat feet here or with toes turned under, if you like, whatever feels most comfortable for you. Right now my heels are right underneath my sit bones, and I'm just increasing the depth of the fold in the knees and a bit of pressure, adding a bit of weight to that by leaning backwards. I can also shift the weight from side to side, from hand to hand, taking some nice deep breaths as I do that, and just really enjoying the sense of folding in those knees there. If that is a challenge for you, there are variations you can do. You can do, this is called a fourth position. I'll show you this way. A fourth position in Graham technique or in modern dance floor technique. And one leg is bent like this, the other leg is bent like this. And you can lean back on your hands and feel for yourself when you go from side to side in your hands what feels good. If you want to increase the fold here, you can bring this knee bring the heel right close to your hip, like sit bone, really close to your hip and sit bone. And you can start to reach backward, eventually even onto your elbows if that feels comfortable, and to work to stretch the thigh here and just breathe. This is a brilliant one for the lower back as well as the knees. And you are working just this side mainly. You could also have this leg out if that feels more comfortable for you. The main principle is to really feel for yourself what feels good, indulge in that, and seek challenge in a good way. Learn to feel what feels like a good challenge that you can embrace and explore with your breath and with your body. Something I really like to do is to go from side to side here and to just test what does it feel like to shift my weight from side to side here. And for me, these kinds of shifting, moving stretches are my favorite. I don't really like to stay in a static stretch for very long. It doesn't feel normal. Harken back to the yoga days, which are a little bit, what's the word? Robotic? Static? I don't know. Too form-based rather than motion-based. So I like to feel the sense of a cat kneading the floor and pressing back and forth. Hello, welcome, thanks for joining. So that was our one side. If you've been following along, we're going to switch sides. And you can have one leg straight in front of you, the other leg folds back, and the heel is just on the outside of the butt here or the hip. And that's one way to do it. You could also fold this knee in, whatever feels more comfortable for you. And you can lean back and just create this nice fold here. And eventually you can go onto your knee, onto your elbows, and breathe, and even shift from side to side. So again, we're looking at ways of finding the deep fold in the knee to create comfort here. Many people experience challenges with their knees, and it's a result of various issues, I would say. Alignment being one of them, but actually, hello, welcome to those who've just joined. The alignment can be one of them, but also I would say lack of range of motion being exercised with weight on it. That's why the first exercise that I shared is a really great one, because it's gently increasing the range of motion that your knees explore under a weighted situation. And if you're not consciously doing that, you will be unconsciously using your knees in the same way all the time, which can be quite damaging. Okay, so that was our modified stretch. To, the full version would be to do something like this, to keep the both knees together, going over the toes and sending the knees forward and breathing here. This is a good one. And it also helps open the shoulders and the lower and the upper back. And you can either rise up here or find your own way out of it. Okay, so we've looked at deep folding, we've looked at range of motion. Hello, hello. And we've talked about squats to some degree. And the other thing I wanted to share with you was the idea of uneven weight distribution on your knees. So the squat that I showed you earlier is this like shoelace tying squat, where you go all the way down and tie your shoelace and then come up, or you work on the range of motion where you feel the challenge in that squat. Something that I've invented that I love is another squat variation, which is called the circle squat. And what it is a squat where the distribution of weight is changing as you go. So it's easier to do when you're not pregnant because you're actually folding the leg in this way. But I do a variation as well where the toes go out if you're pregnant. So it's up to you. The original one is toes facing forward, and you can take an extra wide stance if you do have a baby bump, or if that feels more comfortable for you. So the circle squat is basically an air squat, and I'll explain what the air squat is first. For the air squat, we always start with toes pointing straight ahead, standing tall, hands on the thighs, and then we're going to start by squeezing the glutes and tucking the hips forward slightly. So we start in this slightly exaggerated standing position with the glutes really engaged. When we begin to squat, we lift the belly up and we send the hips back and slide the hands down the knees until we touch the toes or the feet. We try to keep the chest up. Yeah, we don't want to look down at the floor. We want to keep a stretch in the lower back, a U shape in the lower back. So the tail is going up, the head is going up. This is a bit like the cow position in yoga, if you're familiar with cat-cow, right? We're doing that with a weighted stance on our legs. From here, you're going to exhale, push the feet into the floor, scoop the belly up, send the hips forward, and squeeze the glutes at the top. So we finish in the same position that we started in. And that is one air squat. So I'll just show you again. Inhale, reach down, chest up, exhale, push the floor away. We're lifting the pelvic floor here. We're sending the hips under. We're squeezing the glutes firmly as we push forward. And I also like to come up at the top onto my toes here. I do that maybe once in every 5 of these. And I do 10. So that's the simple air squat. When we add the circle to it, what we do is we shift the weight as we go. So I'm going to shift weight into this side as I begin my descent, sliding my hands down to my toes, keeping my chest up. I'm gonna shift my weight all the way around to the other leg. So the majority is here now. Inhale, exhale. Push down to rise up. And I'm gonna send my hips forward, squeeze the glutes, and rise. And then I'm gonna do it again, this hip. So I'm circling as I'm going down, around, and pushing up. So what that is it's a variation, if you've been with me from the beginning, it's a variation of the knee warm-up, right? So my knees are getting a massage, my hips are getting a massage, my ankles are getting a massage, my diaphragm, if I'm exhaling and breathing right and lengthening, is getting a massage, and my feet are getting a massage. And the husbands like it. So then you change directions. You do 10 in one direction, and then you do 10 in the other direction. If it's hard for you to go all the way down, just do a smaller version, right? Rising up if you can. Circling, rising up, circling, rising up, or you can go deeper. And if you want to make a bit more space for a baby bump, you can rotate your legs outward. Point the toes out to the side, not to the side like 180-degree turnout like a prima ballerina, but nice, comfortable, toes pointing sort of 90 degrees, say. And again, squatting all the way down, squeezing as you come up, and rotating the hips around. Right? So it's the same principle, but with the feet turned out, the hips turned out, and rising. And then we also do the other direction. So what we're doing here is we're developing the strength of the knees, developing the strength of the legs, and we are developing the resilience and the range of motion in all the joints of the lower body as well. Okay, shake it out there. Another really great thing to do with your knees and legs is shaking, yeah? So exercise can, especially Pilates and yoga, can be a lot of like static held positions. It's really important to mix it up and have some variations where you are also jiggling or bouncing. If bouncing is not so comfortable for you for various reasons, that's fine. See if you can find a gentle version of shaking, which might be comfortable, more easy for you. You could lean into one leg or hold on to something and shake just one body part, right? Just one arm, just one leg. What shaking does is it increases the blood flow to a body part, and it also gives the fascia a chance to kind of release and wake up. So one thing that I like to do is just allow the leg to shake around in every direction. And if you're standing on the standing leg, you're actually strengthening the muscles of this leg while this leg is finding its range of motion and mobility. And you're just having a nice shake. See if you can try to hit every number on the clock. So even going behind your leg and around. And then, I don't have anything to hold on to for this side. I'll hold on to this side. You also make a clock-shaped shaking your leg all the way around. So again, anything where you stand on your standing leg, hello, welcome, who's joining. Anytime you stand on one leg, you're actually strengthening the knee of the standing leg. And that is one thing I love to do as an undercover exercise, is just simply stand on one leg for as long as I can and do whatever with the free leg. Again, when we're doing this one, we're really trying to work in a clock face, going all the way around. So I'm starting at 3 o'clock over here, shaking to 12, 9, 6, 5, 4, and 3 again. So I'm getting a bit of a twist in. And if you want to be more brave or crazy, you can take it a bit higher. And you can turn it into a rond de jambe if you have a dance background, right? That's a fun one. Little developés in each direction. Or you could swing, right? So a leg swing is another fantastic thing to do for your knees, and I'll share what that is. Lovely to have you join us. Hello. So a leg swing is also the same principle, standing on one leg and keeping this leg strong while this leg goes around or does something else. For the leg swing I'm going to share, our standing leg is going to be slightly turned out. If we're in ballet or dance, we talk about first position turned out. The weight shifts onto one leg. When I'm standing in first position turned out, I already have this glute lift and engagement because I'm trying to grow taller. I'm not just standing here like, all right, tell me what to do. I'm growing taller, and that's already engaging my abdomen and the muscles of my spine and lengthening in a way that would not be happening otherwise. So I'm standing in first position, I'm growing taller, I can reach one arm out to the side to support. I'm going to shift the weight into this leg, so this leg becomes free, and I'm just going to swing nice and easy. The leg just swings through, and I keep growing taller through this direction. I can use my arm like a balance, reaching out to the side, or you could hold on to something else here, and you breathe. Now the work is actually happening on the standing leg, and then you can let it go. You can do the same on the other side. Don't have anything to hold on to, so I'll have to use my balance, right? This leg wants to be super easy and loose, like the clapper in a bell, ding dong. And this leg wants to be really rooted down with your head reaching up, both arms reaching out to the sides, and just enjoy this feeling of the leg being lovely and free in the hip socket, and this leg being strong. And even when you stop, if you want to not put weight into this leg, you can just feel that this leg is also developing strength around the knee joint and the hip as well. So standing on one leg and doing something free with your other leg is also a great way to develop your knee strength. Okay, we've got 1 more minute left, and I want to say that a deep squat is probably the other thing that everybody needs to know about how to take care of your knees. So deep squat is not always so easy for people, but it is probably one of the most important things you can do. If you squat to do a wild wee in the woods, then you're doing a deep squat, right? And you want to be able to do it nice and easily without struggling to go down or to come up. So we want to practice it every day. There's 2 variations. You can have the knees straight ahead, forward, or you can have the knees turning out and the hips open. Both are important to become comfortable with. I like to talk about working your deep squat in various ways. I'll just show you, if you want to kind of make it easier for yourself, you can get a couple of books or some kind of platform to put your heels on that elevate your heels slightly and have your legs a little bit wider than your hips. And you're going to drop down and put your elbows into your knees and just feel where it feels comfortable for you and start to lower your pelvis beyond the level of your knees. And if you just stay here and breathe, that's great. If you can drop lower, that's great too. Feel what feels comfortable for you. And you can shift from side to side gently. And eventually you want to be able to come into a prayer position with your deep squat and hang out here and breathe into your belly. And again, letting the spine rise through the top of the head. Again, you've got weighted, deep angle in your knees, a very acute angle, a deep fold, and you've got weight going through the feet in this one. You can bring, if it feels more comfortable for you, you can bring your steps more close underneath your butt. And if it feels like you've had enough, then come out of it. You can either come onto your knees or bounce to stand up, whatever feels good for you. I was going to cover one more thing, and that is the importance of the ghost squat. So thank you for joining. The importance of the ghost squat for your knee health cannot be underestimated, cannot be overestimated. It's very important. You start with your knees facing straight ahead, your toes facing straight ahead, hips, feet under the hips. You're gonna send your knees forward and you're gonna send your hips forward as well. Ultimately, this is the one squat where we are trying to touch the floor with our knees before we touch the floor with any other part of us. And it's a great way to develop strength in your thighs as well. So a good way to do it from the beginning is to send the hips forward, send the knees forward, and slowly lower down until you touch your knees first to the floor. And then rock back and come back up. Eventually you want to work on going down that way and reversing the same way. Not easy, I haven't got there yet. But what I have got is I'll put my fingertips forward, dropping down, coming up part way, and then sending my hips forward to come up. So what I'm doing is I'm working this point of the squat, rocking back, and then sending the hips forward to come up. Again, ghost squat is simply a variation of this where I hold here, knees forward, hips forward, and I start to reach my arms up. And I create one long line from my knees all the way to my fingertips, and I look up at the Holy Ghost and breathe in my future. See the vision of the future that you're working toward. Breathe. And then if you want, you can either melt down to the floor from here or just come straight out of it. The melting down to the floor is also developing your hinge. Basically, it's like a hinge squat. But that's another fantastic way to develop the strength of your knees. So thank you so much, everybody who's joined today, and thank you for the questions. I would love to see you again soon. We cover all of these great techniques in my 4 Minutes to Fabulous course, which takes exactly 4 minutes a day. And basically it's a routine that you take with you for the rest of your life that will keep your knees strong, keep your body functional, keep your shoulders open, your hands strong, and every bit of you feeling fabulous in very little time a day. So I would love to see you inside. Drop me a DM or a comment if you have any questions or would like to see more of specific kind of content. I'm going to be live again next Wednesday, and I haven't figured out what topic I'm going to speak on yet. So I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining today. Wishing you happy, healthy knees, and have a great rest of your day. Okay, bye-bye.